development in sport is the main core module for the sports studies programme. So it'll just be sports studies students studying this. And essentially the idea of the module is to get you ready for employment. Being sports studies top up the last year of your undergraduate degree, it now is time to start getting ready for employment. So the first part of the module will be looking at finding yourself a potential job of the future. So we'd actually go and find some roles for you, and then you'd essentially profile yourself and see if you would be ready for taking on such a role. So we'd evaluate your CV, we'd evaluate any interview questions that you might think might come up, and evaluate how you could actually start to develop yourself if you were to go for a role like that in the future. So it's really getting you employment ready. The second part of the module is almost imagining if you've been successful in getting that job. And now you're actually in the role that you've applied for, and we're looking at developing ways that you work within that role. So for example, we'll be looking at ethical decision making. How would you deal with a situation if it came up in that role, and actually how would you formulate your thoughts and your action plan as a result of that? And then finally you'll be looking to develop some sort of project. So your line manager would have actually pretended to ask you to create some sort of project. As an example, it might be increasing female participation in rugby. And you've got to come up with a project which would enable that to happen. And your final point, or your point of assessment, is essentially all of these materials, and it's you in a short document. Essentially, here's the job I applied for, here's my development plan, here's how I deal with ethical situations, and here's a project that I would suggest if I got this role. And the idea behind that is that when you do go on for employment and you do go for interview, there's experiences that you can talk about and say, you know what, I'm really interested in this area, this is something I want to build on. And it might help you give you a bit of an extra edge going into that competitive graduate environment.